But I also don't know what Barber does. Maybe we have to do another another one of these on Barber. I played an arm Evo pump into unstable Evo pump and got 3k spammed on me. Yeah, I think like Evo Pumpkin Lords, like, it's funny because they can potentially have a lot of power as well. Like, by the way, hi Mace. Good to have you. We're looking at the finals of the tournament. This is Sefia versus Kriss. Evo Pumpkin Lord versus Ninja. I think, like, thinking about Evo Pumpkin Lord, like, one of the best things about it is that it has consistency. So playing like an inconsistent weapon, like, if you're the type of player that you like the consistency of Pumpkin Lord, and then you decide, yeah, I'm gonna go unstable. That just seems kind of weird, like a weird dichotomy. Like, you wouldn't do that. So I guess the players who play Pumpkin Lord, they might have been a little like, if they're using unstable, it might. Yeah. I know that weapon is stable. It used to be like one of the few weapons that were stable, so it's one of the ones I remember. So Sefia pops thin air here. I don't know if the match is gonna start. Okay, so she misses the Shadow Blade. And yeah, you're just gonna just destroy her. Yeah. Like, look at that, man. Those, having a 2k hit on a 2-second cooldown is crazy. Like, what is the ninja gonna do if they miss the Shadow Blade? They can't stun. Their options are really limited. Again, you only need 4 hits. The cooldown on Shadow Blade, what is it, like 6 seconds? Yeah, it's down to Shadow Blade, and you have a decent evasion rate. I'm gonna pull up the damage chart real quick because I want to look at the evasion rate of the class. So wow, look at this, just chunking her. But you know, Ninja can crosscut as well. Like, staying in a room with Ninja is also kind of risky. But while you're healing, let's look at the damage charts. The evasion chance on this class is 25%. Well, it's 24.48, but like, and nothing really does much for your evasion. So I guess you can expect for her to miss Shadow Blade like 1 in every 4 times, which is, it's not like a surefire win, right? Like, this is a good matchup for you, but I don't think it's smart of her to shadow burn immediately. It seems like she knows now that the class can't miss. Or maybe she did know, but like, she wasn't aware of how much damage it did. I think that's my wow, that was one. I think Sefia there. No, she wasn't. She was one pumpkin, exploding pumpkin away from dying. But yeah, Sefia is really good. She's a really good 1v1 player. Yeah, so this wasn't the first 1v1, right? She had fought you before. I think it was. Okay, so yeah, this is the best one, I think, because it shows how does an experienced player react against a bad matchup. But it's weird because with Ninja you can just do so much so quickly. Sefia, like, if Sefia gets lucky, like in a room, like you want to be stuck in a room with Sefia once she misses a Shadow Blade. So I'm thinking, like, what can you do to make sure that happens, to force that engagement? And it seems kind of scummy, but I think you could, like, she hits the Shadow Blade Shadow Burn, and this is good because you won't be able to hit too many crosscuts. But yeah, I'm thinking like, what can you do to make sure that you gets a 3.4K with a crosscut? That's some good RNG. So again, thinking about what you can do to make sure that you start the engagement with the Shadow Blade, I think like playing it turtly, like heading to mid, but if she Shadow Blades going back to yeah, it's not like Ninja just can do so much damage. Like crosscut is on a 2-second cooldown, and you can see that it hits on average. Like in the crit rate on Ninja is really good. So she hits Shadow Blade, goes for the Shadow Burn, but you get the so she isn't gonna get many crosscuts here. And there we go. I think this is where it gets bad for Sefia. Like unless she gets really lucky, you should get the kill here. Yeah. I think this is how the matchup should usually go down. So it's interesting that she got 9 kills. It just speaks to how good Sefia is. 60 to 40 or 65 to 35. Yeah, it's definitely in that range. Again, Ninja can do so much damage with just spamming crosscuts. You know, it can still stun. It all depends on the Shadow Blades. Can you hit the Shadow Blades? So she hits the Shadow Blades, and the other thing is Shadow Burn can miss too. So you have to hit the Shadow Blade and the Shadow Burn. So it's so yeah, it's a tough road for Ninja, but it's not like it's unwinnable. Thin air. So yeah, like thinking about that 60 to 40 and 65 to 35. I'm in that camp of like the 65 to 35 right now. Ninja just needs to, like, again, you need to not miss the Shadow Blade, so 1 to 4, and you need to hit the Shadow Burn, so again 1 and 4. So you can expect that. How did the calcs turn out like that? So I think in like 1 in every 3 and 4 engagements, you either won't have Shadow Blade or the stun, or the stun. Have we seen the door lag wave? That's my favorite. Well, is it gonna be a you're locked in here with me situation? Because it seems like Evo Pumpkin Lord seems scary. And yeah, just destroys. Like again, this is how I would expect that matchup to go. Like again, you miss. And again, like the thing is, you can play around the Ninja stun. And you can make sure that she doesn't get many crosscuts in within the stun, and the stun from Ninja I think lasts. It says it lasts like 3 seconds, but every stun lasts like 1 more second than what it actually should. Have you guys noticed that? I manually timed them, and like it seems that every stun says like 3 seconds, but it's actually 4 seconds. So like that's the case for Warrior. It hits the Shadow Blade, so you hit the Shadow Burn while you cop, so that's really important. Not get crosscut as much, and this is how she. Yeah, you had less crosscuts in, but she almost pulled it back, but no, just destroy her with the guaranteed damage. It's smart to Shadow Burn early, to use the hot while you heal. It's kind of like the small details that make you have a better win rate than other players. Just the fact that you won't be able to get so much map advantage. It's like a small difference, but again, everything's in the details. If you do a lot of these things, they usually stack up to something. Okay, so she hits the Shadow Blade. She misses the Shadow Burn. Oh, but it's you for 4K with like an auto and a crosscut, crazy. And just this, and yeah, that didn't go well. But again, she got really lucky there with the crosscut. Look at that, 60 to 30. Sefia's gonna have to pull a miracle to like get it this close. I wonder what she starts doing differently. Quitting mostly. Get she gets the Shadow Blade. She gets the Shadow Burn, and you're not hopping, but she hopped out of the room. So there you go. That faded and 2K'd. 2K'd again. One hit away. You got this. Oof. Now you don't have this. Oh. Oh wow. That's tough. That's a tough one. I think you had it. I think you had it, but there was some, like, you had to stay in the room to get the kill, but that was kind of scary. Like, it's so, like, for me, it's like a reflex for ninjas. Like, I usually want to like leave the room as soon as I see them because I know they're so dangerous with the crosscuts. But I think the decision there was to stay. But yeah, this stun lock is tough. But the thing is, for the stun lock, they have to land the Shadow Blade twice, so that's even less likely. It's still I think it still works out so that it like for the stun lock, they have to get like two. It works like in their favor. Like it's more than a coin cost. It's more than a coin cost. Like it's more than 50%. But yeah, she hits the Shadow Burn, and you didn't hop. You couldn't hop with the door lag. Is this a door lag? That could have gone so differently if the door didn't lag. But still, that one was pretty, like, she wouldn't have gotten like the two crosscuts in, and she critted one for like 3K, so that was unfortunate. And now it's 5-6. This is going quickly. This matchup is interesting. It's funny. It's good. So she hits the Shadow Blade, and you're doing the right thing here. You're waiting it out, and you send her flying hot dogs. Really good juke there. Hit the Shadow Burn. Hits another Shadow Burn. Oh, and you kill her. Oh, that's. She was referring to a door like that worked well for you. I think that at any point where you're locked in a room with, again, if that was the whole shield, like 35%, that's significant. That's almost on guard. And we've seen how Ninja struggles to get kills on Warrior with on guard. So it's kind of like a lesser one, and they also take more damage. So it's not just the fact that they're dealing dealing less damage. They're also taking more damage from the, and that went weird. Yeah, that went strangely. Some luck there on Sefia's side for sure. I wouldn't expect the wave to go like the wave to go like that when you were stuck in a room with her and all she did was hit one Shadow Blade. Yeah, the thing is, this is what I was talking about with the fact that like you want to engage her when she has like you want to make sure that okay, did she miss Shadow Blade? And if she didn't miss Shadow Blade, can I hop the Shadow Burn so that I don't get like, so that she doesn't get like too many crosscuts? And just destroying her this round, so I played it really well. I think she yeah, no, I agree. At this point, I don't think that she's like any matchup knowledge with. I think she's adapted at this point. I don't think that any matchup knowledge is going to make the difference here. She was staying on my brawler to stack thin air before the wave. Oh, good point. I haven't been paying too much attention to the Shadow Blade stacking. To the thin air stacking. It's the Shadow Burn. Nice. So the Shadow Blade misses, so this should be your kill. 1 health. Oh, that was you on 1 health. I missed the wrong. I looked at the wrong rate. Yeah, I guess the traits were bad. I was looking at the wrong health side. She was staying on my brawler to made Seat miss, and if Seat misses, then I can't kill her in a room alone. Well, I think you can. Well, that's so, like, we should have numbers for the DPS. I think that would help quite a bit. And these are easy to get now because we have the battle, like the target analyzer. So, something I want to do with this damage chart is calculate the DPS. So, like, if we can get like a boss with like 1,000,000 health and then just do damage to it, and then see how long it takes to kill it, and then calculate DPS from that. We could gauge like, okay, can I kill a player if we're stuck in a room, and then that makes you that can make you make better decisions. It hits the Shadow Blade, hits the Shadow Burn, but you hopped. It's 2K. What's with this 3.K? Like, what's this 3.2K crosscuts, man? That's not that likely. You seem to be getting unlucky here. I think these happen like less than. I forgot the numbers for crosscut. I have to look it up, but it's unlikely to get a 3K. It happened a lot in this match, but they don't happen that often in the. You gotta get lucky to get them. Well, not that, like, it's not that unreasonably lucky, but it's like one in every, it's like 2 in every 10 crits or something like that. She's getting average luck here, so you should win this. Oh, 1 health. What's with the 1 health, man? And gets the kill. Yeah, like Sefia doesn't drop these. That dot look, well, yeah, the dot is trash, I forgot. Yeah, that's what I mean. So like crosscut should be double that. Max a little bit less than that. So I think the way that it works out is that like 2 in every 10 crits from crosscut hit 3K with a fully unstable weapon like the one Sefia is using. So it's on, again, if this is happening every wave, you're getting unlucky. But not Sefia on advantage. It's the Shadow Blade. Misses the Shadow Burn. It's the crazy crosscuts anyway. Like, she's getting a little bit better than average luck. So you'll see it here. And now I just need 1 crit. Wow. She went from having average luck to having really bad luck, and that's why that went so poorly. I think you also applied the shield. Explosive. Oh yeah, that's right. It cost HP. I forgot about that. I thought it was just free. I see. Yeah, I haven't seen any crazy door lag. But yeah, I forgot that explosive pumpkins cost HP, not mana. I thought it was totally free. I didn't realize it was killing me. So I guess it doesn't do that much damage. Yeah, the targeting here wasn't on point. The siphon. Okay, so here playing it safe would be amazing, I think. Hits the Shadow Blade. Doesn't miss the Shadow Burn. Can't kill you, just 1 crit. And there's one, even the non-crit I think would do it right now. The one skill, the Vine Whip. It's the Shadow Blade. This is close. Oh, you get the crit. It's 10% HP, which doesn't matter outside of a zone. No, like 10% is quite a bit. That's yeah, no, that's like 800. That's not bad. That's hefty. That's not free. I thought it was totally free. So I guess, yeah, like if you need 4, it adds up. Like if you're getting the kill from the like, thinking about a ninja when she shadow blades you all the time, you're basically like, you're hitting the Vine Whip and you're hitting the last skill. So I have something from Mace here. I feel like unstable is better because the fact that you're never going to miss gives you consistent chances at higher crit damage. But I'm unarmed Broly and refuse to use a weapon. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, maybe using unstable would have been better here for Kriss. The thing is, like, the advantage that unstable gives you is that your opponent won't be able to gauge how much damage your class is going to do. So if you're the worst player, it's going to like if things work. If you're the worst player, consistency is bad for you because the better player can predict. They can adapt. So maybe here, one thing to think about, if you're using a class that's totally new to the other player, they're unfamiliar with it, using unstable can be kind of a good idea because you saw here how how Sefia adapted. You know, how different the first kills, the first 5 kills were versus how different the last kills were. I think because at that point she had the reflex. She knew how much damage the pumpkins would do. She knew like the vine whip. She was able to make better decisions as the match went on. So it took, maybe if the adaptation had taken longer, she wouldn't have gotten to a point where it wasn't a stomp. So maybe using unstable here would have been better for Kriss. The thing is, it depends on who you're fighting. Like, making that decision depends on who you're playing against. How good is the player at adapting? And how does Kriss know if Sefia knows how to use Pumpkin Lord, you know? Yeah, no, I definitely think, like, here you got unlucky. And again, credits to Sefia for taking it to 9 kills. Yeah, most of it, like most of the waves were down to lucky crosscuts. But not again, Sefia is a really good player. Beating her ninja is beating her on ninja, beating her on warrior is cool. And let's see if we can get one where you lose. But I don't think you've ever lost as an Evo Lepi, as an Evo Pumpkin Lord. Do you know of a match where you lost against with Evo Pumpkin Lord? I want to see a class doing well against it. You're undefeated with the Pumpkin Lord. I think that tells us all we need to know. Because you haven't played a small amount of matches. You played the top players. And that wasn't on Hero. Yeah, so we're not gonna watch that. Well, I think that tells us all we need to know. Evo Pumpkin Lord is crazy. So let's bring up the tier list again. Like, again, Kriss is a fantastic player, but Sefia also is a fantastic player. So, like, seeing hit the Chrome again. And yeah, I think I'm going to take, like, we put the Pumpkin Lord here, and I think this is where I'll leave it. I actually think, like, this, not paying too much attention to the ordering of especially tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4. I definitely think Pumpkin Lord is probably at around, like, because there's two schools of thought here. So, what is the best class? If you think that Warrior is the best class, Evo Pumpkin Lord is probably bottom tier 1 or top tier 2. Probably top tier 1. If you think that Ninja is the best class, if you're in that school of thought, I think that Pumpkin Lord is actually better than Star Lord because Ninja centralizes, like, Ninja is what the meta is based around, and I think that Evo Pumpkin Lord has a better matchup against Ninja than Star Lord, and I think that even though Evo Pumpkin Lord doesn't have as good matchup against the classes here at the bottom, you're using Evo Pumpkin Lord to fight classes in tier 1, so I think I'll leave it here. I think that Ninja is probably the best class overall, so I want that to be, like, top of tier 1. So I'm putting Evo Pumpkin Lord right next to Warrior, but I'm placing it as better than Star-Lord, not because it has better matchup. It has a better matchup against Star-Lord than all the classes below it, but because I think it has a better matchup against the tier 1 classes. Like it does bad against Warrior, but it does well against Ninja, and it does well against Star-Lord. And the thing is, Warrior does well against Evo Pumpkin Lord, and it does well against it does poorly against Star-Lord, but it does okay against Ninja. But I think Evo Pumpkin Lord has better matchups against SL and Ninja and Warrior overall. So Warrior is definitely the second best class. So I'm gonna leave it here for sure.